What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to set up your 360 camera to shoot footage like this. There are 4 key points in order to set up your 360 camera. 1 is the angle of the selfie stick. 2 is the distance of the selfie stick. 3 is the bounciness of the selfie stick. And 4 is the angle from the foot pegs coming up straight exactly in the center of the rear. In order to achieve all 4, you will need the correct selfie stick. In my case, I'm using the Telesin. The reason I'm using the Telesin, which I'm going to link in the description, is because I've used all other selfie sticks on the market, and this has the least amount of bounciness. How does it achieve this? Well, this can actually extend longer, double the length of what it is right now. So I'm using the bottom most thickest 3 parts, 1, 2, 3, and I also do not extend it all the way out. What I do is, this comes with twisting. Instead of me extending it all the way out, what I do is I put about 4 fingers worth of length inside, and then I twist it to lock it. The reason I do this is because you want each part to be inside about 4 fingers for each to create the least amount of bounciness. The next part that you will need, other than your selfie stick, to create the proper angle are these 2 brackets with spacers and a longer screw, which I will take apart and show you each part one by one. But there's one more thing that you will need to purchase. Because the selfie stick is a twist and lock, you cannot really predict where it's going to lock, and this can leave you with your 360 being in this angle right here. You don't want the lens to be left and right, you want your 360 to be right here. In order to control this, you'll need to also purchase this addition that you can twist and control the angle of the 360. The Telesin selfie stick comes with a traditional GoPro mount, so this does not mount to the 360. The Telesin comes with a mount for the 360, but instead of adding the mount, I purchased this, which I will link in the description, to be able to create the proper angle by twisting this where I want the 360 to lock. One more thing before I remove the whole setup is that, first of all, you will need a 6mm hex for all screws and pegs. But when you tighten these clamps over here, you have to make sure that you don't over tighten them, because this is made of carbon. And if you make these too tight, what's going to happen is this part over here, it will not be able to go inside past the clamps. If you make them too tight, other than you might break them, this will not be able to go inside. Even now, if you can see, as I drop it, it stops here. It finds resistance right here. And if I push it a little harder, it can go through. Because I have it tight enough where there's some resistance going in through here. Because if I have it a little more loose, what happens is this twists. If I have a little more tight, I cannot insert this all the way inside. So you have to find the perfect balance of how much you can tighten these 2 screws. Okay, so now that everything is taken apart, you will need an M8 screw. M8 are the stock screws or bolts that come with stock foot pegs. What I did is I purchased a longer one, which is an M8 by 24mm in length. This is 18 millimeters in length. I believe 18 millimeters in length is what the stock bolt is, but I changed them because I wanted both to be in color black. So 18 length and 24 length. You also need these washers underneath, I'll show you why, and these spacers. So for this, I did a 5 millimeter spacer, and for this one, I did two 5 millimeter spacers, so total 10. What happens is, once you put this underneath with the washer, you'll need the washer or else the screw, the bolt will go through, and you will put the spacer above it. Same thing with this. And the two spacers above it. And right here on the bike, this is how it's going to look. You insert both where the foot pegs go, right there, and you create this angle with the spacers. Now, this is just an example of the spacers that I've used. I've used 10 millimeter and 5 millimeter. You can use what you wish you want to use. For instance, if you want a little more angle and you want the selfie stick to go a little higher, you can add maybe a few washers here, a couple millimeters more over here. Now, these spacers are all on how to control the angle on up and down. Now, the tricky part, and probably the most challenging part of this setup, is how to control the angle on the left and right, because you want the selfie stick to come in the center of the bike. Because the way the foot pegs are set, the holes for the foot pegs, the selfie stick will go out. So it will actually come further out from the center of the bike's tail. So how do you do this? Well, this is how you do it. So if you notice here, this part is not the same as this. This is how it comes, all rounded. This, I actually used an angled grinder right here to trim it down, because once you create this angle that the selfie stick goes inside, this, when it was rounded, it would hit the fairing of the tail of the bike, so it wouldn't allow it to go anymore in. So I had to use the angle grinder to grind this so I can allow it to go further in. Now again, this wouldn't resolve all the challenges, because to do that, I needed more space for the screws to come through, because when I would give this angle, this would have to come out. And the problem with this was that the hole was so small that it wouldn't allow this to pivot. How do I resolve this? Well, I used a drill in here and I just drilled it. I drilled the hole in and out until I got the desired length of diameter of the hole. So that was the only way for me to create this angle from here. This took a while, because not really to grind this, but the inner part of the hole took a while, because this is not meant to grind holes, but I had no other tool to create it, so this is what I used. All right guys, selfie stick is back on the bike and ready to shoot some videos. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. If you like this video and this video helped you understand how to set up your own 360 setup, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one.